Oh, well, I've just had a dream that succinctly summarises the dilemma I found when I first chose to get married. I thought, that means I can't be loving and kind to those who I've cared for. In the dream, let me be specific. I was happy enough with someone. It was a new relationship. But someone came along who was right in some way. It meant disengaging with the one who I'd started to care for. I'm perplexed. I'm in a dilemma. I can't be what either of them needs, except I'd be exclusive. You don't want a husband that's a husband to everyone else. I'm perplexed. Is it stymied? Stumped? I'm bewildered. I want to leave no one out. But I'm of no value to anyone if I care for all. Because I can't give enough to one to be what they then need. I was very unhappy about this. I was originally. I realised that if I devoted my life to Jean, as my wife, couldn't be a blessing in the same way to others. Because we're very finite. God is infinite. He can be the perfect friend to you and to me at the same time. Am I disturbed because he loves others, not just me? No, somehow I can be very happy about that. But I can't in this world. Oh. I mean, I can't be happy about it in this world. Because, of course, it will mean, given he's finite. I mean, sorry, I've been confused at what I've said there, but not in what I was thinking. If I'm finite, then when I'm attending to person A, I'm not attending to person B. Oh gosh, I want to be what everyone needs. In that sense. I'm at a loss as to know what to do, Father. Show me. Please show me. Well, let me try this. I don't think the answer is that I'm what you need. I would need to say to both A and B and all the others, because I'm finite, you need the infinite, where you can have all the attention and care you need and delight in, without it in any way being diminished by the fact they love and care for all creation. God loves and cares for all, and you know this. It's just that he's different to those that are not finite, in that he can give you all you need, continual attention and relating, despite doing it with everyone else as well. Does this make God the most unfaithful person in the universe? No, it's because he's the most loving. He can't leave anyone out. He would be wretched at the thought that he'd created someone not to have the blessing that he has. So, there is no dilemma. How do you mean, Marshall? Well, if God exists, I just say, look, love, you may be heady about me, but what you really need is God. Not only can he give you all you need, but compared to him, I can't, not remotely. I'm just mortal, finite, limited in what I can do and understand and achieve, and I make mistakes and etc., but he doesn't. And not only that, he can be caring for all the rest of creation and not limit his care of you as a consequence. You see, you need God, love, not Marshall. Oh. But she, of course, loves me. So she thinks, yes, but I know that's what I need. But what do you need, Marshall? Well, I need God too. We both do. So we both love God together then. Well, a lot in me wants to say yes. Goodness, yes. But I can only do that with you while I'm here. While I'm here in this world, in this universe. I can't at the same time do that with someone else, can I? Well, that depends on what I want. If we're talking about monogamous marriage, no, you're right. If we're talking about fellowship and just living a communal care, no, we can all just delight in being together. So to put it in very worldly terms, if we're talking about a sex relationship, no, that would be absurd. But if we're not talking about that, but we're talking about a fellowship relationship, it's not absurd at all. We're all loving each other in the room, in the pure sense, in the non-sexual sense. That's what I mean, isn't it? That's the thing that's confusing the issue. I mean, we can be all, for instance, mates together in an army. We can care for each other and always there for each other. But we're all blokes, we're all meeting each other's daily needs of companionship and protection and care, but not physical relationship that you have with twixt a man and a woman, so to speak. It's not that. So, heaven works because everyone's celibate. Yeah. Well, here we're not. More fundamentally, we're not because we have monogamous marital needs. And I don't think I just mean sexual, I mean well, I do mean embrace. Let me pause. Let me explore for a moment Hitler. You wouldn't think this is a good opportunity, but let me just explain something. He had a girlfriend, Eva something or other, and he didn't want the nation to know this, because his effectiveness as the nation, at least in his mind, was that he was devoted to the nation, to all of Germany, if you like. Well, what he understood to be genuinely German anyway. And that relationship would be impaired or destroyed by them knowing that really he gave his attention to one woman, one person, just one German, if you like. So he kept it quiet. And according to the story, which is probably more like story and historicity than history, before they have to commit suicide at the end because all was lost in the war, he apparently gets married. He marries her. Which is what had always been, of course, what he'd always wanted to give her. And so he was true to his word. There was a great integrity in Hitler. Appallingly applied, according to the historicity at least, and really the history as well, as far as we know. But he so wanted to do the honourable and right thing, and the thing that he felt she valued and he valued, that really they loved each other. Well, that's the story, and it may be a pure gloss and romance, I don't know. But it's instructive of a dilemma. That's the value of it, I notice in passing. So in this world we have needs of a very exclusive relationship. Does that mean the exclusive relationship, since it's not found in heaven, as indeed is the physical not found in heaven as well, and the male, female, male gender thing not found in heaven? For we are as the angels of God in heaven, neither male nor female, or both in fact, in one. Do we therefore dismiss the personal marital relationship as something that's not of God? Well, that would be strange, because we learn to love and to care for and to have a greater self than just our narrow self. So often we learn that through marriage. And equally we can only come into this world by being children, and they need an exclusive physical caring from finite individuals, mum and dad. It's no good if mum and dad share all their time and resources with every other child in the world as well, because they will be in poverty, along with all the other children in the world. For the meager resources of mum and dad in both time and resources, other resources, will be spread far too thinly to be of any value. You'll notice that the so-called avatars are not spending all their time with communities of children. I mean young children. I mean actual children in the worldly sense. They're doing it with adults who are, well, at least in large measure celibate. And those that aren't, like the Ananda organizations, communities, well, they may have marital setups with children, but yeah. So in some sense, that's a fellowship that recognizes the need that children have, not just adults. And in some sense, Ananda has addressed this problem, hasn't it? It's a fellowship that can include marriage, couples married to each other, bringing up children in an exclusive relationship. They're bringing up basically their children. Of course, in a good family fellowship, other families help each other in the fellowship, both each other and adults, and help the children. The fact that it's someone else's child in the fellowship that has a need that you can meet doesn't stop you meeting that need, unless, of course, the parents can meet it. And, of course, we're not excluding the adult that's not in a family relationship. Not at all. Wow. So the cost of the exclusive relationships is not impoverishing what can be given to the single adults, because they're in fellowship with each other. Of course, it's not a question of them having sexual relationships, but then that's not in itself a great need. because we have fellowship. And that is the great saving grace. The extraordinary finding that fellowship is at least sufficient, if not more than sufficient, to compensate for monogamous marital relationship. In fact, I can turn it completely round now and come back and look at the world and say, the reason you have such a need of a partner and a marriage partner is because the world's so unloving, so poor in fellowship, that by comparison, the monogamous relationship is everything. Now, when you get into it in the world, you find it's not everything. One of the partners gets very often disgruntled with the other. It's no longer satisfying, etc., etc. And we say the marriage is on the rocks. Because perhaps that partner thinks, well, really, I could be doing better elsewhere. And so it goes on. It's not that you have to give up the possibility of marriage in a godly fellowship. It's that a godly fellowship makes the need for marriage so much less. In fact, quite inferior compared to the fellowship value of the group. How lovely. So, yes, I don't know enough about Ananda to say, but let me, for arguments, use the word Ananda fellowship to label what I mean. We can have a fellowship of people in harmony, in true fellowship harmony. And if some of them are still at the point where they need a family relationship, well, okay, they're a family that belong to the fellowship. And we recognize this situation. They are going to be in some exclusive daily household and nightly relationship. The rest of us who are single are not. And we've chosen to do that, unless, of course, we choose to do otherwise. That becomes increasingly unlikely, I maintain, because the fellowship actually brings my true needs being met. But in some sense, what we might label as more physical needs become less and less important, given the value of the fellowship we have communally. So I don't need to occupy myself with marriage, or have someone occupy themselves with marriage to me, because I have what I want in the fellowship, which is fellowship. Not, if you like, sexual relationships or exclusive bringing up children needs. I can be a blessing to everybody. Children and adults in the community. I can even be a blessing to people outside I'm sent into the world. I'm not in fellowship with the world, but I am sent to show them what the way is if they wish to know. It's having a realization, actually, that makes marriage unnecessary. And if others choose, because they need to have marriage, well, that's fine. And we don't exclude them from their marriage being part of our fellowship. We just don't want it ourselves, because we've come to value the fellowship so much that we don't see the need. But if they see the need, well, that doesn't exclude them from fellowship with us. Bless you. How lovely. I think we've got a very good, what I'm still calling, labelling, Ananda fellowship in that case. Now, I don't know that Ananda actually operates this way. I don't know enough about it, so please don't feel I'm misrepresenting something. I can declare here and now my imperfect understanding and knowledge of how the actual Ananda fellowships work. But that's where I started thinking from in that sense, wasn't it? Or at least it helped in my analysis. And for argument's sake, I've labelled them Ananda fellowships, joy fellowships. Yeah, okay. Interesting, taking the word Ananda, you know, if it means joy, and I assume it does. I'm reminding myself that that's not my purpose. I receive joy in meeting my purpose, but it's not what I'm purposing. I'm purposing of being a friend of God. And I understand that that means being a true friend to all life, in as far as life values such and wants such. And if it doesn't, like much of the world, well, you let the world go its way until it does want. And you're sent to find out anyone that does still want. Those who have ears to hear, lovely, let them hear. For you I am sent. And those that don't, well, I'm not there to pester and bother them until they long for such. I suppose I should let them know it is on the menu. Though they'll probably say, well, so what? I prefer going the way I'm going, worldly wise, thank you. Wine, women and song. Right, okay, that's not the end of the world. Indeed, it's the very reason for the world being here. So that you can find the error of your ways. And so with this complete lack of humility and bold arrogance, I'll leave the story there. Thank you, Dad. Oh, I would just add that in case you think I'm speaking from some high exalted position, I'm still a child. There are times when I just long for a good relationship with a partner again, because I've had such love and joy and happiness and contentment in such that, wow, I long for it. But at other times, I'm more than content with my present situation of being single. for it allows me total freedom to devote myself to God. And I don't mean that I do devote myself to God. I come and go on such, like any other child. You know, some days I'm very enthusiastic, others I seem pretty not very impressive at all. Because I'm here still. It's because I'm still a child, I'm still here. Otherwise I'd be an avatar, but in heaven, not here. So don't do what I do. Do what I tell you when I'm in my best state. As I understand it. What do you understand? That's what matters. Because what you feel you understand is what you're drawn to. Because that's who you are. Is this bringing you the joy and happiness that you want? Or is it problematic? If it's problematic, then you have ears to hear. If living the way you're living is bringing you what you want, you won't have ears to hear. And this discourse here seems irrelevant to you. But it's not irrelevant. It means you know such things are on the menu, should you ever need such, as you see it. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.